Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back to On Texas Football. Welcome back to our Friday live stream. Oh, man, we got a jam-packed crew here. I'm lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers, joined by the man, the myth, the legend himself, also a lifetime Longhorn Bobby Burton, another lifetime Longhorn, but he's a national champion. That's what sets him apart. My man, Marcus Myers, joining us, and also the estimable Jerry Hamilton, the man.
I got a new lead in for you. Lifetime friends with Mustang. There you go. Go with that, Rod.
Right. Hey, shout out also
Mustang.
Shout out to Rocky P, because Rocky P, I just got my hat in the mail. Went and got it, loved it, fantastic, great, it's high quality. I'm a fan, and I really appreciate that. Very kind of you. So I don't know if Rocky's even on yet or seen it, but he'll see me wearing it. It says Black Caesar for those who can't see it. Black Caesar. It's really cool. It's really cool. So throwing it out there. Rocky says, had to pull out my BS machine today with my C team. They were asking me why production seemed to go up to the second half of the month and what we can do to keep the momentum going. Hey, well, I think the work speaks for itself. I'll just say that, Rocky P.
Yeah.
We're gonna show love here, but the work does speak for itself, man. It's really good stuff. So thank you. I appreciate that. And I think Marcus has his.
I got mine rocking. Yep.
Yours is kind of
so he did a 32, and then it's like a play on me after dark. So half of me is my actual face, and then the other half is like a wolf. So I guess I transform a bit. Marcus after darkest, as they say.
Nice. All right. Yeah. I don't know. I know Jerry has a mayo corn dog on here or something. What's going on there?
Yeah, I have the mayo corn dog. Yeah.
Yeah, he actually does have the mayo corn dog. I was kind of joking. I didn't realize that. There you go.
Well, I've got some of that this morning.
That is fantastic. All right. No, Bobby will get his too. But I just threw mine on because I just got it. So Rocky P, I appreciate it. Anyway, let's get right to it. We got a lot to get into on the show, but of course the show belongs to you, the show of the people, for the people, and by the people. So throw out your questions, comments. We'll try to address as many of them as we can. Super chats always jump to the front of the line. You can interrupt the show at any time. You have a big weekend on the 40 acres. You got the alumni game happening on the 40 acres for Texas baseball. Game day coming to town for Texas women's basketball. By the way, if you have not heard the Vic Schaefer interview that Jerry and I got a chance to do this morning with Blake Monroe, it is fantastic. And I didn't do it there. Obviously Jerry did a lot of the heavy lifting, but honestly, Vic Schaefer just goes. He is, and it's magnificent. It is inspiring. You feel like it's a motivational speech. Also, you learn a lot of basketball, learn sports. It's great. So I would just recommend go check it out for yourself. From Coffee Football.
It was probably the best segment interview we've ever had this morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Bobby was breaking. He was on about 2 hours of sleep and he was rolling.
He was.
But he said, I was listening in. He said sometimes when they get in late, he just has his wife drop him at the facility. But he was talking about how it's harder right now because they're doing all the construction on the practice facility. So he hears beeping all night.
Oh, man. He's fantastic. So I would encourage everybody, if you want a bit of a treat, a bit of a pick-me-up, Vic Schaefer's always good for that. But that interview was exceptional, and not because of us, because of him. He's Matt. He's a great. I just think he's kind of a great motivational speaker. I don't know if he does it intentionally or not, but he does get you pumped up. All right. We got a commitment to talk about. The Longhorns did get a commitment in the transfer portal earlier today. Sterling Berkhalter is the name of the commitment, a wide receiver from Wake Forest most recently. But guys, he has had several stops. Started at North Carolina A&T for a couple of years to start his career in 21 and 22. Then went to Cincinnati for a couple of years in 23 and 24. And one of those years he did not play at all. But he was there at Cincinnati, and then 25 most recently with Wake Forest. So adding a depth piece there. I'll start with you, Bobby, because I haven't heard your thoughts on it, and I want to hear Marcus's thoughts on it as well, since this all happened. But what are your thoughts about Sterling Berkhalter, the wide receiver, being added to that room?
Well, I think it's much needed experience beyond the first three guys, Cam Coleman, Ryan Wingo, and Emmett Mosley. There's nobody proven in that room that's caught more than 10 balls in a season. Now, Ryan Niblett, you could say is proven, but he's not really a receiver.
Yeah.
He's more of that boutique player we've talked about in years past. So Dalen McCutcheon and Khalil Lockett were the only returners with any catches at all outside of that top group, given that DeAndre Moore and Parker Livingston moved on. So I thought that we'd said all along they were going to add another receiver at some point in this process outside of Cam Coleman. And they were looking for somebody that had some size, somebody that had some experience, and that's exactly what they did. And Sterling Berkhalter, originally from Winton Woods High School in the Cincinnati area. The other thing that I would say that not a lot of people realize, one thing they were also looking for, if possible, is somebody that they thought could pick up the offense fairly quickly.
Yeah.
He will be someone like that. Rob Ezel is the offensive coordinator at Wake Forest. He actually spent some time under Steve Sarkisian at Alabama.
Okay.
And so he, I think they feel confident that Berkhalter will be able to handle the offense and get to it pretty quickly. So it's definitely a depth play, but a quality depth play in Texas's estimation. If you go back to the Vanderbilt game, for example, earlier this year, Rod and Marcus, or earlier this season, you had Ryan Wingo go out. Mm-hmm. You had, I think, Dalen McCutcheon got popped with a collarbone, and I think Emmett Mosley went out in that game. It was either Mosley or Livingston.
Oh, yeah.
Game 2. And all of a sudden, they were down to, who are they playing in the fourth quarter of that game? And so I think that's a good pickup. They don't want to be too light at receiver, and get that going. So here you see a little bit of him right now. That is Mr. Berkhalter as well. Mm-hmm. So good long body is what I thought.
Yeah. He's big, 6'3", about 205. I like him in contested catch situations. Last year, he was about 6 of 9. So it's just a pretty good. And I think throughout his career is 57% contested catch rate on those contested targets. Marcus, what are your thoughts? You probably got a chance to study up on him a little bit. What are your thoughts about the addition of Sterling Berkhalter?
Yeah, checked him out yesterday when we knew he was on campus, right? And we talked about it a little bit last night, Rod. At the time, I said, the number was 14, but now that he's signed, that's now 15 of the 19 guys that they've brought in that will be juniors or seniors for this coming season. When you go a little further than that, you got Dylan Sikorsky, who has some reps as a sophomore. And then there's one more that I think I'm missing, Marcus Boswell. So he had some time at Akron, but I think Jerry, you maybe mentioned he did prep school or something. So these are all guys that are older, really, for the entire class as a whole. That's 17 of your 19 that you've brought in that have been on a campus longer than just 1 year. So when you talk about a guy like this, and you talk about his body type, Rod, that's another guy that can make the contested catches, but also someone else that you can have out there blocking. With Mosley, that has been probably your most physical of the receiver group in the blocking outside of Wingo. You didn't really have another proven guy in that area yet as well. And so the more you talk about this 9-game SEC season, you need all the bodies that you can get. You need all the ones that can be proven that you can get and that have already had some experience. So I think it's a great pickup. And something that we had talked about early on, where you'd likely have, 1 to 2 receivers, and looks like they have 2 now, and we'll probably close up shop at that position.
Yeah. Jared, do you think, obviously adding this piece for depth, everybody feels really good about it. Any other position you foresee Texas adding a little depth piece here and there? Because obviously most of the top guys, all the top guys are off the board at this point. You're adding for depth at any position.
Yeah, for a while, I kind of wondered if an edge, if one more pass rusher would emerge. I don't think it's there right now. Now, I think those are fewer and far between of the elite guys or the guys that Texas would want to add. So I don't see that right now. But if there was something late, that would be maybe one I would still look at. But right now it would be more of a developmental guy.
Yeah. How much you guys think of the roster now? Now that we seem like it's slowing down to a crawl in terms of the portal acquisitions, how much you guys think of this is total? How much of the roster has been overhauled now? We got to be at. You got to be close to half. You got to.
It is. It's got to be, because there were 22 signees. How many?
So there was 23 signees,
23.
19 guys that they've brought in.
42.
So that gets you to what, 42?
Half of your 85.
That's half of your 85. Yeah.
Damn. That's
half
enough.
your 85 is brand new.
Probably the first time we've seen that, but we obviously assume this is going to be more routine.
And I still think, no matter how talented a team is, I still think it's going to start in the mirror a little bit more of basketball season, where you definitely have to piece. It definitely is going to take you more time. When you turn over half a roster every year, you're not going to be a well-oiled machine at the beginning of the year, no matter how talented you are. That's why I wonder. It gets all the talk about the playoff with 12 and don't have the really good non-con game. But I almost wonder if some of these really high-stakes non-con games, non-conference games, might be affected in future years by coaching staff saying, hey, man, we may not be ready for that game in 0 week or week 1 or week 2 because we're overhauling 50% of our roster every year. I think there's a little something because everything points toward why would you play that game in playoffs and all that. But if it's me, I'm looking at these games saying, hold on, I'm not sure I want to play Ohio State 0 week or an Ohio State week 2. And if you're Ohio State, they just had a lot of roster turnover as well. They're probably thinking, man, we're going to Texas game 2. We're not, we've lost a lot the last 2 years. We've had a lot of roster turnover now. Are we going to be ready for that road game? I think that's going to be something that's not talked about, but maybe has a little impact in future years because you're turning over too much of your roster to be ready out of the gate.
It's a good point. Yeah. And I want that also with the playoffs, your teams will get hot later in the season because they'll start rounding into form a little bit later because there's so many new pieces with all that as well. All right, good stuff, good conversation. I know we got some other topics that I want to hit, but before we do that, we have to give a shout out to our lead sponsor. Bobby, would you please tell the folks about our friends at Garage Beer?
Yeah, absolutely. This is beer the way it should be, cold, crisp, easy. It's Garage Beer, no gimmicks. There's Garage Beer Light and Lime with 95 calories, 3 carbs, and only 4% ABV. It is beer-flavored beer. Thank you to Garage Beer for sponsoring On Texas Football's Friday afternoon live stream. Again, that's Garage Beer Light and Lime, 95 calories, 3 grams of carbs, and only 4% ABV. It is beer-flavored beer. Give it a try.
All right. Thank you to our friends at Garage Beer. And thank you as well, Bobby, for the message. My man CB always with a good message. Says happy birthday to Bijan. And Aaron Harris.
Yeah.
National
Aaron Harris is in full bodybuilder mode these days. Have y'all seen that?
No.
Harris is always working out, man. He's always working out and he always has his shirt off. He's dropped like a lot of weight. And one of the things he was talking about is like he was telling me how much he actually hated lifting, in college and high school, but now like he's really taken to it. So he's like completely remade his body altogether.
He's got low body fat percentage at this point, based on the photos I've seen. Rod, like
it's been a few years since I've seen A Harris. That's okay. Now I gotta try to reach out to A Harris to see what's going on. And he didn't like lifting when people had to tell him what to do in the weight room.
Probably, to some degree. Okay. And then he had to be bigger than like kind of like we were talking about last night with Big Ham. Like some guys just naturally drop it because they had to bulk up, versus guys that just kind of naturally are able to put on some weight. So
there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Harris today, man.
Full impact, man.
What is he? Damn, that's crazy.
He is not on my diet.
Good for him, man. He did that. When I see Michael Huff always say, I was like, Huff, why are you lifting? What are you trying out for something? Like, why are you still?
Huff is about the biceps, though.
That's true.
Huff always about the arms.
All right, we do have one question that I think Derek brings up. It's a good one. It says, since Berkhalter, this grad transfer, will he be coming in the summer?
That's what I believe. Look, I think you would have had to have started school already at the University of Texas. The 28th was the drop dead date. Mm-hmm. Now, I can't say that 100% for sure with Berkhalter right now. I do believe that's the case. So I would put that around a 95% likelihood that he's not coming until summer.
Yeah.
Summer 1, basically. Same with Lawrence Seymour, the grad transfer offensive lineman out of Western Kentucky.
Can we get, because this young man, Berkhalter, had to be approved for a waiver, correct? Because of 6th-year guy. I mean, does he know something about the process? He can pass on to my man.
Rod, I'll let you handle that.
He might know a guy. That's all. He obviously found. I'm so intrigued by that process. So I just wonder: is it the I don't know, is that the urgency of the situation you were in? Like I have no idea how. Is it just because you get a good lawyer? You get a good lawyer, hey, he can figure it out. Like I have no idea like about the process. And honestly, I can't wait to talk to one of those guys about it potentially. Like, hey, what is that process like? Is it just simply you send it in paperwork? Is it, that they investigate that season? Are they interviewing people, interviewing the coach and talking interviewing family members? Do they need, like, say you had a tragedy or something in the family, you got to prove that?
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
I don't know either. So look, Texas could play 2 quarterbacks that are in similarly situated right now next year.
Yeah.
Trinidad Chambliss from Ole Miss and Joey Aguilar at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't, like, personally, I don't know what's going to go on with any of these guys, and I don't know why they choose for some to be approved and others not. As it relates to Seymour specifically, I was told that they felt very confident that he would get a clearance. Beyond that, it's up to the courts. I don't know it's hard the NCAA is such a moving target, in my opinion, that it's hard to discern which law they might follow more closely on this particular issue. The same with Diego Pavia or Joey Aguilar or Trinidad Chambliss. It doesn't matter which. It's just kind of hard to understand.
The Oklahoma linebacker got slapped down yesterday, and Oklahoma's plenty pissed about it.
I think they were saying part of his was he played another sport, right? Didn't he play lacrosse or something?
Yep.
Yeah. And so they said that was part of why he was denied. But it's kind of like you said, Rod. There's no hard, fast, black and white to it. Like, I think they take every case on an individual basis and, make a determination whether you agree with it or not. It probably does have a lot to do with how well you're represented, how well that person is versed in these type of proceedings, and what kind of case you can make for yourself.
Yeah. At this point, because this has been around for a while, guys trying to get extra years of eligibility, I would think there are a couple of lawyers or a few lawyers that do specialize in, like, oh, no, we know the loopholes. We read it. We know how to.
Absolutely.
Like a niche industry or a cottage industry. No doubt.
Yeah. By the way, how good of agent you have can also impact if they know the right attorney, lawyer to get your case to get your eligibility. That's why agents can be very important in all this too for these guys.
No question. Get the wrong agent too can be disastrous for some of these guys. Already hearing some of those horror stories about that kind of stuff. Okay, I want to get into it. You guys throw out your questions, comments. We'll try to address as many of them as we can. Super chats, jump to the front of the line. You can interrupt the show at any time. So I saw Max Olson, I believe, on ESPN did his ranking of the top 100 transfer portal players, period. So everybody believes that now pretty much all the activity is done or drying up. So I don't know if did you guys get a chance to see this ranking?
I haven't looked at it. I know.
Okay. We're good. No, it's good. Then we can play a little game. Don't cheat, Jerry. Okay. Y'all, you don't know. All right. I want to see if y'all can guess. All right, where the Longhorns are going to be. Like, where the Longhorns, not where they're exactly ranked, but how they're ranked. Like, who's the top portal addition for the Longhorns, ranked by Max Olson, who would be second, third, fourth. Okay. You ain't got to guess the exact number. If you're feeling like you're Nostradamus, then go ahead, try to guess exactly where he had him ranked. I would respect you more if you could do that. But we can just kind of go who was first, and I think the first one is pretty easy for everybody. So
Jerry, Cam Coleman, 3 overall.
Do anybody want to guess as to where Max Olson has him ranked?
3 or 4 overall.
I got him at 5.
He's at number 2.
Dang. Oh, really? Okay.
Max Olson's ranking.
So who they have won?
I believe Sorsby is the one they have at number 1.
Really?
Yeah, that he had there.
I can see this. Sorsby got paid the most.
Yeah. So there you go. They have him at number 1, but they had Cam at number 2.
I don't think Sorsby is going to pan out as 1, but okay. That's fine.
That was the darkest right there. Marcus after darkest. Like,
I don't see that one, but hey, it is what it is.
Look, Marcus, all he has to do is get the ball in the end zone once in a playoff game, and he's going to have a statue at this point.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, let's continue. Who's the second ranked highest Longhorn? Second highest ranked Longhorn.
If it's not Biles, they need to redo their ranking.
Oh,
it's got
y'all
to be Biles.
Mad. Y'all mad at Max Olson.
He put Hollywood second.
Hollywood is second. Anybody want to guess at what number he has him? Among all the top 100?
I mean, look, he led the ACC in rushing last year.
25-ish.
You're close, Jerry.
15.
I thought 20 to 30.
Bobby's good. 20.
Okay.
Right at 20. That's higher than I
That's
thought he would be ranked
interesting.
too. Yeah.
Good player. He's not better than Biles.
But y'all gonna be mad about this listing. I'm just gonna give y'all a hint. All right, who y'all
Yeah,
got?
Miles ain't showing up in a while, Rod. What you're saying? I will say this. I mean, just to go a little bit on. So the coaches have now seen a little bit of Smothers, Raleek Brown, Derek Cooper. They are anticipating a big jump at running back in 2026 already.
That's fair.
Only been on campus 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, put that under your hat. See what it means actually.
Yeah.
But they got 2,000-yard rushers added to the backfield this year.
Yeah.
Explosive.
And a guy in Derek Cooper that early returns are very, very positive. Now pads haven't come on or any of that other stuff.
Right.
But sometimes guys look a little different when they show up. And he apparently is one.
Well,
like
based
that.
on your reaction, Rod, I guess Raleek Brown is next and not Biles.
I bet Siani is.
Oh, both wrong. Who you got, Jerry?
Really?
I don't think so.
Tight end?
Masunas? Yeah, I was gonna say, is it Masunas?
Ian Jafraud.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Ian Jafraud at 26.
It's a little higher than
Wow.
anybody
They
else.
got him
has.
up there. Yeah.
I agree. It's a little high for Jafraud.
But hey, here's the thing with him, though, is that Texas identified one guy they wanted to be their zero technique in this whole thing.
Yeah.
And people didn't really pay attention to it because they were so busy worrying about Cam Coleman. But he was the one guy they didn't let leave campus without signing, basically, that first weekend.
I mean, guys,
That's how important he was.
yeah,
So-
how impressive is 446 snaps at 387 pounds?
I'm with you.
Yeah, that's legit. That's legit.
That seems really hard to do when you're 375 plus.
You know what, Jerry? Now that you said that, I'm gonna go look and see how many guys that are, I guess, 350 plus pounds and what the snaps are. I'm gonna go try to do some research on that.
It's not like he did it in the MAC. He did it in the SEC.
Yeah, no, you're right. That ain't because Texas rotates their D tackles a lot.
Yeah.
And they keep a good rotation of 4 guys. I'm gonna do some research on that because that's a really good question. All right, who y'all want to guess is next after Ian Jafraud?
Biles,
Yeah, I'm
Siani.
gonna go back to Biles.
That's a good one.
I don't think
Yeah.
they have Bo Masco that high, but they do like Bo Masco, I know.
I guess Biles or Siani for me.
Okay.
I think Biles is lower based on Rod's.
Yeah, that's what I keep thinking. I feel like Biles is gonna be like 60 now or
Hey,
something.
I know a lot of those guys used to work with him, but I know where I'm shoving my corn dog next. I know who's getting the corn dog. Bobby didn't like it. It's Doc. Come on. I'm shooting the text right now on this ranking.
All right. I'm gonna say it right now, guys. Raleek Brown.
Okay.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
Brown.
I figured
Raleek
they'd go
Brown.
offensive again.
What
Yeah.
number
Yeah.
is he going to be?
They got him at 29.
That didn't sound right.
Wow.
I know. See, Jerry. They got him at 29. So to Bobby's point though about the backfield, at least
Yeah.
Max Jones down to that back.
Yeah.
My optimistic prediction is it could be the most explosive backfield in the country. Like
Yeah.
it's got that potential now. That's got a lot's got to fall into place
Sure.
for that to happen, but it's got that potential. It really does. I mean, I've done the research on it. They really do. That combination.
71 receptions by the running backs, the 2 portal running backs combined last year. 71 receptions. That's a huge number.
Yeah. And they're the only, like I said, the only backfield that I can find right now that has 2 players with at least 600 yards after contact last season, at least 48 missed tackles forced, and at least 9 20-plus yard runs on the season.
Yeah.
They have 2 of them. Now, Texas Tech's got a backfield that's close, and Michigan's got one that's close. Louisville's got one that's close because Louisville's is nasty too. But those are in the conversation to be the most explosive backfields. Those 4 to 5 I mentioned. All right. Okay. Next up, gentlemen, who you got next up after Raleek Brown? He's the 4th Longhorn on this list.
I think Siani's better than this, but that's my go.
That was where I was gonna go. Is Siani.
Siani
At
and
this
Biles.
point, I'm guessing that Biles just gets completely disrespected. And he's like after 50 somewhere. So I'm giving up on Biles.
You
Well,
be
I
like,
saw one ranking had Biles number 94 returning player in college football. I was like, I mean, how many guys are better, more productive than him? So I don't know what to make of these rankings right now.
he's getting disrespected. I've said that before too. But it's Melvin Siani. Next we have Siani at 64th overall. They dropped down all the way to 64th for Melvin Siani. But so they have the Longhorns with 4 of the top 30 on this list. Just so you know, the Rasheem Biles thing is disrespectful. I think it is. I think it honestly, it really does. It hurts the integrity of the whole list, in my opinion. It does. That they got him at 75.
Yeah,
So then,
And
I don't want you to have to do this on the fly, Matthew. But how many linebackers do they have ahead of him?
That I did not look at, but I will say I looked at a CBS Sports top 100 similar ranking at CBS Sports. They also had Rasheem Biles at 75.
That is wild.
No, sorry, 77. They had him at 77.
yeah.
So I know of one linebacker that would probably be Cade Uluwave. The linebacker from Wisconsin, Texas really, really liked.
Oh, he's great, but I bet they don't have Alliegro high on this list either.
Yeah, Christian Alliegro.
I mean, the only 2 guys that wanted him were Patricia and Will Muschamp. What's that worth for a player? I don't know. Probably a lot.
Yeah.
The only players that have been
willing to pay a price for that.
Yeah.
Both teams were.
Yeah.
No Bo Masco, guys, on this list or the list that I looked at from CBS Sports. No Bo.
And you said this was top 100, right?
This was Max Olson did his top 100, I believe.
Alliegro not in the top 100. That'll look bad on NFL draft day a year from now.
Yeah. People I talk think he's a 2nd or 3rd round pick, by the way. Alliegro. Ahead of Rasheem Biles.
Yeah.
So
because he's bigger, right?
He's 6'5", 245, 50.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That dude, he can play any of the linebacker positions there.
But it's like we talked about with Biles. I mean, I look at Jamie Sherwood, who I saw at Jensen Beach in high school. He played safety. He goes to Auburn, grows into a linebacker. He was drafted, I think, 3rd round. He was 6'1.5", 216. He was drafted 3rd round. He had 156 tackles in the NFL this year. I mean, so and people can rank it how they want, but Jamie Sherwood was underrated out of high school, underrated out of college, and he's been underrated until this year in the NFL. I mean, guys are playmakers. They're playmakers. They can ball. They can ball. It doesn't matter how big some of these guys are.
Yep. I agree with that. All right, good stuff. Let's look at a super chat here from Rocky. Rocky P, appreciate you, Rocky. Says portal effect on our schedule. 5 teams with more than 30 players transfer out of 10 teams with more than 15 players transferring out, and 7 teams with more out than in. Nobody knows what to expect next year.
Yeah. This is what I've been trying to point out too. Like, it's not just us. And of these teams that we're playing, there's a bunch of them that are replacing coordinators. There's several that are replacing quarterbacks, starting left tackles, starting edges. Like, I think, it was a lot of hand wringing, along the way. But when you talked earlier about, the total construction of the roster, Rod, I think there are a lot more knowns that we have than a number of the opponents coming up at some really key spots.
You want to know the craziest number in the portal? Without looking, take a guess at how many players Oklahoma State.
Oh, here's Lawrence Seymour on his official visit, guys.
Oh, nice.
There you go. Yep.
How many players did Oklahoma State bring in? How many did they lose? This is one of the wildest numbers you'll ever see, even in the portal. Take a guess. I saw this late last week, and I was blown away.
So how many players?
What?
How many players did Eric Morris bring in at Oklahoma State, and how many left the program in the portal? It's
brought in 50, and 40 left.
Brought in 54 and 65 left.
Oh, wow.
65 players left the program, and they probably had 79 or 80 scholarship players.
That is wild.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable number.
There's got to be a record or something.
Yep.
Got to be. That's unbelievable. LSU, yeah, Arkansas, 40 and 39 now. I assume until something changes, this is the new reality.
And that doesn't include, by the way, that doesn't include recruits.
Right.
So if LSU signed 20, you're talking about what, 60 new faces?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What did Penn State, Iowa State end up at?
Penn State was 36 in, 47 out.
Okay.
And he also brought some of his high school guys over from his class to Penn State as well. A lot of them, actually. His best one. Yeah.
Man.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That Oklahoma State number is mind-blowing, though, guys. Like
I did not know that. That, like I said, it's hard to wrap your brain around that. And I do think that, like I said, until something changes, I do believe this is going to be the new reality for most of the power program, most of the top power programs.
For ones that change coaches, yes.
100%.
Right. Because on the flip side of that, Oklahoma State, you look at the impact on UNT. I think every starter but like a specialist left.
Yep. I'll try to find North Texas.
Or what drives that somewhat. Like Texas had 22 or whatever it was, and 20, the two numbers. I can't remember exactly, but my point being, double that if Sark leaves for whatever, you know. That's the thought process. Arkansas coach left.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those teams also are losing teams, right? And so how hard you work to keep guys that were on a losing team.
Yeah.
You know, was there a team this year? Was there a school this year that was an elite program that lost its coach to another elite program? I can't think of one. Like Iowa State's not an elite program.
Right.
So
Closest
they're not on the same team.
I was going to say Kiffin is the closest.
Yeah, Kiffin is the closest. And they both probably had monster numbers.
Yeah. North Texas brought in 48, lost high 30s.
Yeah.
And they lost all their good ones, though.
I was going to say they lost their whole start. Like I think I saw something that literally said like every starter from that team is gone except for like the kicker or the punter or something.
Yeah.
Like only one of those guys stayed. Everybody else left.
Man, it's fast. I would love to sit down with GMs in college, Brandon Harris, among others, and ask them, what is your strategy to rebuild the roster every year to the point where 35 to 40% of your roster is going to turn over, and you don't know what guys may leave. You don't know. Like you have a good idea. So basically retention has to be ongoing. Like it has to, your retention efforts never stop basically to keep your players, because that's the key. Yeah. To keep the good players, because you can't keep everybody. I'm talking about just the guys, your meat and potatoes players, your QB, your edge, your premium position players. You gotta be working retention with them constantly, or your agent, whoever it is.
The one that quietly did a pretty good job of retaining some of their best players was the coach at UCLA from James Madison. They brought in 41, only lost 24 guys. They lost a few, but they actually retained a few as well, which was interesting. Because nobody covers UCLA in the West Coast, so you don't really know what they're doing. But they quietly might have done a pretty decent job to give him a chance in year one.
Yeah, it is fascinating. Thank you, Rocky P. We appreciate the question, because it opened up a really, really good conversation. All right, moving on. Got another question here. We appreciate you guys. King Kunta says, are we recruiting any bigger running backs in 2027? The big back.
Well, Jaluk has only offered one guy so far. I think they're waiting to get some guys to campus in the spring. He's been by to see a few guys, but the one guy they went in Jaluk, he's been on the road this week. So I know he's seen some guys. It just hasn't been publicized as much.
The Soto kid?
Sherrod Baker was the one he offered, but they went to see Landon Williams-Callis at Randall this week.
Oh, yeah. I saw
and
that
he may be the smallest great back. I mean, he's 5'7" and a half, 5'7" and 3/4, about 185, 190, but he is a tremendous player. And I actually spoke with somebody at the school this afternoon on that visit, because, Landon didn't come to any college games at Texas this past year. So I kind of made a call, said, hey, where's Texas actually at for him? Because I said, I get a lot of questions about it. He said, look, none of it schedule-wise worked out for Landon to get to a Texas game this year because they were trying to play to get back to a state championship. Texas was on the road the whole month of October, and he said, I wasn't letting our kids take these trips on Saturday because we're trying to play to get to a state championship game again, and which they did. And so that Texas schedule did make it tough this year with no home game in October for Texas to get some kids on campus. So anybody that's kind of wondered, oh, Williams Callis, he didn't show up at a game, so he must not be interested. According to a staff member at Richmond Randall High, Texas is in it on him, but the schedule just did not work out this year for him to get to Texas for a game. And so Jaluk and Sark were by a couple of days ago.
Nice.
It's interesting that it's just the big back hasn't worked out for Texas post Rojo. You know what I mean? Like they just haven't, whether it been Cedric Baxter with the injuries. Like I said, this is not Texas' fault or anything. But they recruited a bigger backs, right? Power backs, Jerry Gibson. But Jerry Gibson had, trust issues, or I think Sark had trust issues with him because he couldn't hold on to the football. And, obviously his running style, I think vision may have been an issue with Jerry Gibson too. It hasn't worked out for them, the big backs they brought in, the power backs they brought in. And they don't have a power back. Well, maybe Derek Cooper's their power back but he's not. I don't think you would just, pigeonhole him into, he's a power back. Because I think he brings much more to the table. So I don't want to disrespect him by just saying he's power back. Maybe he could be that for you if you needed it. But they don't have that on the roster right now based on what we saw.
Or at least what you could trust. I mean, Jet Walker is still he's a good size back, right? But you're not necessarily planning to trust him on year one. And maybe to your point, Rod, it's, you find a guy a year at the high school ranks if you like him enough. And then he just kind of continues recruiting the more explosive types right out of the portal, so it seems like it's maybe a little easier and the offense is more appealing for that type of back than necessarily your, traditional big back, if you will.
Yeah. I like big backs and I cannot lie. Says
I would just add this, and we talked about it on Wednesday on State of the Program, Rod and Jerry. There were 15 different things that Texas wanted out of the portal this year. A big back was one of those, and they didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
There were two big backs that were thought to be going into the portal at one point. Jaden Ball out of Florida and Kawan Lacey out of Ole Miss. Neither ever made it to the portal.
Yeah.
So if those two, to your point, a talented big back is more rare these days,
Mm-hmm.
Rob.
Yep.
I think that you tried to make Jarrett Gibson to that. He just wasn't. Cedric Baxter could have been that, got injured.
Yeah.
So what you end up doing is you find guys like Bijan or Jonathan Brooks, frankly, that are not big backs in the typical sense, but you add and get them up to 210, 215, and then they're in that category for you.
Mm-hmm.
But the 225, 230-pound guy that can go 75, like a Deontay Foreman.
Foreman.
Yeah. We talked about him last night.
We
He's
did.
about the best big back Texas has had in recent history.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's one of the things that they did not necessarily get that they had tried to identify, but I don't know that person came available.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even when you look where other guys landed, there wasn't a traditional, like the kid that went to Indiana, Turbo, whatever. He's not a big back.
5'8", 205.
Yeah, and all along when people were asking about the kid from LSU, Durham, like he's not a big back. Like everybody that was, trying to think of names of guys that they could potentially go after, none of them were big backs. And when it was all said and done, you got two of the top end, explosive backs. So, I mean, to me, that probably makes the more sense just of what the landscape was and is likely to be.
Yeah, I think the one was Muhammad from
Washington.
Yeah, I think he went to Cal, right? So
he went to Cal.
He stayed on the West Coast.
Yep.
Yeah, we played Would You Rather last night on the live stream, and one of the topics was, since Texas didn't get the big back and they didn't get the edge, would you rather add Deontay Foreman to this 2026 squad or add Sergio Kendall?
Oh, I'll take Kendall all day. I'll take Kendall all day long in the
Bobby?
SEC. Some of that's dependent on the conference you play in, but I'm taking Kendall all day in the SEC next year.
I'll tell you, as the defensive guy, mainly, like I was going all offense last night, so I picked Deontay.
Yeah, that's a hard. I mean, look, that's a tough question because both of those guys. I'll say this: I think Deontay's skill set's more rare than Sergio's, but I don't know that Texas has. If you could have, that's what I liked so much about them recruiting Jaden Woods as hard as they did. It's just really rare to have two guys that are freaky getting after the quarterback.
The SEC,
now, based on, I would probably go Deontay. I mean, dude, can you imagine them trying with Arch and Deontay Foreman?
Woo.
And that's
So-
I mean, what if Deontay Foreman's leading for you on short yardage? I mean,
And that was my rationale, Bobby, is if you take Deontay, you improve your short yardage as well as you can sustain some drives in a way that ultimately helps your defense.
yes,
Right? Like if you have Muschamp and Gideon coming in, imagine what they can do if like they're not having to just hold on for dear life and they're getting, some sustained drives, converting some more third and shorts, putting more points on the board. Like that was where I kept going when I kept picking offensive guys.
I gotta say this: Sergio though causes turnovers.
Mhm.
So I mean, there's, you know what I mean? There's like a Sergio was a disruptor.
Rod came up with these on the spot. He didn't give us
Yeah,
time,
what
to
did
figure
Rod
them out.
say? Well, what did Rod say?
He went Sergio.
There is no wrong answer, but I went with Sergio, the pass rush. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I
think in the SEC it's stopping the run and rushing the passer.
It's because Rod, you know what it is? It's because Rod's a corner.
he's right.
Any pass rusher, just sign him up automatically. It makes my job easier.
Hey,
He
my
came up with
pass-
some really good ones. He had some good ones last night for me.
We'll do that. I'll do some more would you rathers with this group. We could do something like that. But we had some fun with it last night.
I like
I will
that.
say Bobby's kind of right because my job was never easier than playing cornerback while Casey Hampton and Sean Rogers were on the D line for me. So got a little something to say about that. All right. Before we move on, I know we got a few more questions, but let's thank some of our sponsors before we dive into it. Let's thank our friends over at the UT Co-op. We appreciate them sponsoring our Friday live stream and being a part of the On Texas football family. Thanks to them, and thanks for all their support and hospitality. The UT Co-op is a nonprofit and has been serving the Longhorn community since 1896. Every penny of profit directly benefits course material scholarships. In fact, over 9,000 students will receive course material scholarships this academic year as well. We appreciate our friends at 40 Acres Apparel, born inside DKR Design and built exclusively for the University of Texas and Longhorn Nation. So go down to University of Texas Co-op or go to universityoftexascoop.com and get geared up with 40 Acres Apparel. Great designs, fashionable, high quality, SPF 50, moisture wicking, an amazing product. It looks good and it feels even better. That's 40 Acres, also a proud sponsor of the course material scholarships for UT students. And while we're taking some time, let's thank our friends over at SeatGeek as well. If you need tickets, speaking of college football, for college football games coming up in 2026, maybe the World Cup is something that you want to attend. Maybe it's about concerts and festivals for you, NBA games. Doesn't really matter what your needs are. If you need tickets, our friends at SeatGeek, they have you covered, folks. They are the most trusted ticketing app out there today. They have over 37 million downloads to their app. And right now, my friends over at SeatGeek, they're going to make it easy for you, and they're going to hook up OTF fans. How about that? Use that code OTF10, all right, and you're going to get 10% off your next set of tickets over at SeatGeek. They also make it easy for you. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. So look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad, plus every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. So you know our friends at SeatGeek have your back. So check out SeatGeek. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. All right, let's get right back to the super chats. We got one from Matt. He says, every year is free agency without a salary cap. That is the model for now. Thank you very much, Matt. We appreciate the super chat. He's close. I know he's a little sarcasm there, but
he's not close. He's right.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, and I think that what I would add, and y'all were having this conversation, I didn't pipe in, and perhaps I should have. The thing that you can do, and what Texas found itself this year, is if you have a guy that is on your campus that is having a good time, that is being successful, it is harder to get them away from you than it is to lure them to you.
Mm.
So, in other words, let me give you an example. Texas lost
Michigan
Jaden
guys.
Woods, right? Because he just went back to Florida. The two Michigan guys just went back to Michigan. They were starters and they were on good teams, good places. So there's, what's the word? Incumbency. There's value there. Trevor Gooseby could have been worth more on the open market.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Than what he was by coming straight back to Texas. But he made that decision because he liked where he's at. I mean, it's not like, and a lot of these guys, like Hollywood Smothers had an interview with Pete Nakos, friend of mine, the On3 national writer. And the interview was about, look, I chose Texas over Alabama because I just felt more like that's where I needed to be, more, all this. There's all these things that are created there. And I think that it's not so much about how much more money somebody makes. Like some of those kids, those Michigan kids, could have made more money at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're dealing with Trevor Gooseby and he's a potential first-round pick, I mean, I'm just going to say put this $100,000 or $200,000 difference or more than that. It's not that big if your first paycheck coming out of college is 15 to 20 million.
Yeah.
It's more about, hey, where do I feel like I'm going to be developed? Where do I feel like is the safest path for me to be a draft pick? I don't have to deal with the unknowns. I think that there's some incumbency value to having good young players on your roster. Like it will be Derek Cooper as an example. If he goes off and has a great freshman year, I'm sure people are going to try to lure him into the portal.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, right? But if he's at Texas and he already knows Sark's offense, he's already had success, and he's looking 2 years down the road, why would he go anywhere else?
Yeah.
I mean, if he's even remotely similar, right? And so there's the incumbency value, I think, that makes it a little less than true free agency.
Yeah.
And I think it's underrated too, Bobby, that some of these guys, especially, for example, you mentioned the Michigan guys, right? Like they're comfortable in that Big Ten environment. I'm sure they like Ann Arbor, right? And it's not like Kyle Whittingham is a bad coach, right? So it's once he came in and he kind of made his pitch, it's okay. Do I stick with something I'm more comfortable with, what I'm more familiar with, or do I uproot and like truly just change a bit of everything? Right now, I'm going from, whatever these crazy temperatures are up in the Michigan area to 100 plus degrees all the way into October. Like, is that what I want? Do I like the environment and the vibe of Ann Arbor versus Austin? Like every kid is different in that area. And in these instances, these guys aren't kids. Like they're going in their final year. And again, to your point, Bobby, the next year is where they're going to make their real money. So sometimes it's like, hey, I'd rather stay in the spot that I'm more familiar with and that I have a sense of home already. And for other guys, in a Cam Coleman's instance, he was probably gone no matter what, because Auburn was a wreck of a program.
Yep.
So, it just kind of depends on every instance. And I think you're right. The ones that, just had kind of that feel of, hey, I'm good where I'm at. The dollar amount at that point didn't really matter as much.
Hey, I'll just add this to that super chat. I'll say this, the number one international basketball player, and I just learned this week, that could come over to college for a year before he goes to the NBA draft next year. He just got an ACC offer, NIL offer, $3.75 million. Guys, we're in January. The basketball portal doesn't even open
till the day after the championship, right?
So where's that one going to go? But
Wow.
he's perceived as, again, Texas has been trying to recruit him, but boy, that thing's going to it's going over 4 if it's 3.75 right now on January 30th. And that guy's seen as somebody who can get a team to a Final Four.
Wow.
That thing's going to probably end up at 4.5 to 5.
Yeah. Oh man, it's fascinating. I was born way too early, guys. Way too early.
You and me both. You and me both.
Yeah, right. All right, Rocky. Rocky, thank you, Rocky, for the super chat. Says we are going to see more teams playing freshmen sooner than they are ready for. How do they know to keep paying players without seeing them play? You're right about that. I think that's the version, college football's version of dead money is going to be when you invest in players and they're not playing, you know they're not playing. It's like either that's investment in development, Bobby, or that's because it was a misevaluation, or they're just not ready. Either way, I think it always equals the same thing: is that it's money that you're spending that's not giving you return on your investment.
In talking, like I'm going to
Immediately
talk with people at Texas behind the scenes. They're not going to eschew high school recruiting. No chance. Because there's value of bringing those guys along and having them in the program, understanding what they're trying to do and what they want to do with it all. And then there's also they believe in development, and they believe that they are a good enough program to keep those guys long term. So Texas is, I mean, you saw Trevor Gooseby didn't go anywhere. Arch Manning didn't go anywhere. I mean, Ryan Wingo didn't go anywhere. Had plenty of him and Mosley. Texas is a destination school, not I'm going to go from here and jump off. That Texas is a destination school. So they're going to try to get those caliber of recruits on the high school level. I think they're going to concentrate that more than they have perhaps in the past.
Yeah.
I get 10 to 12 of those guys that are what they think are ready-ish. Not maybe not ready, right?
Yeah.
But ready-ish. And then the rest will be guys that they feel confident on, that have the body types, that they think they can develop long-term, that may not get any NIL.
Yeah.
And that's where I was thinking, Bobby, is the investment, right, will just be less for those other guys. Yeah. And you'll probably have 8 to 10 that'll get a substantial amount a year. And now you're not, setting up the rest for feeling like, well, wait a minute, you paid me all this already. Like, what do you mean I'm not on the field? Or what do you mean you're recruiting this other guy out of the portal? If I've only given you, 100,000 or less, right? To your point, Bobby, like not a ton, you're setting an expectation a little bit better up front. And I think that's maybe what college football is shifting to, and certainly at Texas.
I think the Texas team ideally is going to mirror more of a Miami team. Like Bobby said, destinations, right? At the destination schools, you come away with the Malachi Tonys of the world, right? I mean, Francis Malagoas, Mark Fletcher's, right? Reuben Bain out of high school, Ahmad Moten, who's from down in South Florida. All those guys, Basante, guys who started for that Miami team, were there multiple years. And look, they're tremendous talents out of high school, but that doesn't mean there's not development with it. Some of those defensive linemen, some of those other defensive linemen were all high school recruits for Miami. Mesidor was not. But a lot of those other guys were high school recruits for them that have developed. Those sophomore backup D linemen who made impacts in those games, those are all high school guys. And I think you're going to see Texas, the Ohio States, the Miamis. I think they're going to mirror closer to each other. Miami had a lot of portal additions on their defense. Why? Because they had a D coordinator coaching hire between 24 and this last season. And then they went and remade the secondary in the portal, got Traore at linebacker out of the portal. But a lot of those D-line guys, they were already there. That Miami offensive line, 4 of their starters were 3 high school guys and a JUCO guy who was not a portal transfer. 4 of those guys were true recruits for them. The only portal guy was James Brockermeyer at center. They had a portal guy wide receiver. I think you're going to see the destination schools rosters look very similar in future years, as opposed to the schools that maybe change coaches and you see a new wave of 40 guys come in. Then maybe the next year, while they're still building it, they may have another high roster turnover just from portal. I think the destination schools are probably going to mirror closer to each other in their roster construction.
Okay. Good stuff, guys. Thanks for the super chat. We appreciate that. Justin's up next. He got another would you rather. I like this. And I'm assuming we're adding this to the 2026 squad. Would you rather add Jamal Charles or Jordan Hicks?
Jamal.
There's no two ways about that now.
Yeah, I'm different.
Jordan Hicks is 10-year pro. Jamal Charles is a freak.
And then Sark's offense is a pass catcher out of the back of space.
Yeah.
Now, this one is Charles. I took Kendall because of the pass rush and the defensive front in the SEC. I'm easy Jamal Charles all day on this one, and I love Jordan Hicks as a player, but he would be freaky in Sark's offense now.
Yeah, I do. I think that's one of those where it's like, is this truly a special player versus a good player? And Jamal is like, I mean, he's elite of elite, like just stuff you can't teach.
No, here's reality. Jordan Hicks may be a top 10 linebacker to ever play at Texas. Top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jamal Charles is arguably one of the top 5 running backs to ever play at Texas.
Yeah. And I think he's still the Chiefs leading yards per carry.
He's the
NFL all time.
NFL. There you go. I shortchanged my man.
Yeah. Like if you look at
the thing about Charles is you don't have to block plays perfectly for him to make big plays.
Yeah.
That takes pressure off an offensive line in the SEC. You want guys like that can go, all right, man, somebody whiffed on a block. We didn't pick up the call right. This dude still makes a first down somehow. Yeah. And that's needed in the SEC because those dudes make you look bad if you mess up front with all that athleticism. Jamal can negate the athleticism on defense of an SEC. Very few players can do that.
If you look at yards per rushing attempt, Jamal Charles' career yards per rushing attempt in the NFL, 5.4. Jim Brown's at 5.2.
Yeah, that's insane. that's nuts, man. That's nuts. But we saw, I mean, from as a true freshman, Rod, like every single day in practice, he did that stuff. Like it was just, you would just be like in awe sometimes. Like, how does he move that fast?
Yeah. And he does it with his body turned. He like gets small and he's still running faster than everybody else. Yeah. Like he can get small to kind of like smoke through a keyhole, and then he bursts out the other side, and you're like, he was still moving faster than everybody else on the field when he did that. That's just a rarity of him.
I don't know. Name a faster running back of all time. Maybe Devon A. Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson, the only one that may be in the conversation there.
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson could be in that conversation.
But he's a power guy though.
Yeah.
But he's fast to your point.
Yeah.
That's it, man. That's the list.
Was Gale Sayers that fast? I don't know.
No. Jamal Charles would have won the 100-meter dash in the Olympics when Gale Sayers was playing. I mean, they're so much faster nowadays than they are back in the 50s.
Somebody brought up one. Chris Johnson was probably.
That's what Rod said.
Yeah, Rod said Chris Johnson.
Probably the only one, but that's probably the only one. The only running back in NFL history, by the way, ranked ahead of Jamal Charles in yards per rush is Marion Motley, who is a Hall of Fame fullback / linebacker that played in the 40s.
Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. So other than that, it's all that. Maybe you can throw a quarterback out there. If a quarterback, you throw rushing into like Michael Vick or Randall Cunningham, but running backs is pretty much Jamal Charles in that same category with, Jim Brown,
Gale Sayers, Barry Sanders.
Well,
Barry
Sanders
is at 5 yards per rush. That's Barry Sanders, 5 yards per rush. He's at Jamal Charles is at 5.4.
Barry Sanders, 5 yards a rush with bad offensive lines in the NFL for most of his career.
Very true. Yeah, because
he definitely belongs in that conversation.
Yeah, Jamal Charles got Andy Reid. Remember, Andy Reid brought in Chris Alton, started running that pistol with Jamal Charles, and then his career took off. So, yeah, that's true. All right, getting back to it here, we got a super chat from Juan. Thank you, Juan. Says, hey, guys, just wondering, how would Gary Patterson's defensive scheme work in the SEC? The Texans would have hired him if they didn't get Muschamp. Oh, that's interesting. They didn't get
what you got on that, Rod? I'm not sure I have a strong opinion on that one.
I just think Gary Patterson is a really good talent evaluator. I think that's where he stands out, is him evaluating talent. I think he would evolve his scheme. I heard a quote from him the other day saying that my wife watches Netflix, I watch film. He's got this. There's a kind of a Kurt Signetti confidence with Gary Patterson because he just knows ball. So I do think he would evolve his scheme a little bit. He probably would evolve more so than his scheme, more his personnel evaluations in the SEC, a different ecosystem than the Big 12 or, something else prior to that. So I think he would evolve maybe the evaluations, maybe get some longer limb guys, some maybe more girth in certain places on the defense. But I do think his system it would evolve. I think it's a pretty multiple system. I think I respect Gary Patterson a ton. I think he's a hell of a defensive
It's
mind.
going to be pushed to be different. I mean, he actually in his opening press conference, I don't know what I watched it actually, guys.
Okay.
So everybody else watches film. I watch press conference. The point being, he said it's the largest front he's ever had.
There you go.
Day one, USC. This will be the largest front he's ever had, and so yes, he's going to coach it differently.
You know what's interesting about that's going to be interesting about that? He's got a bunch of former NFL coaches on his defensive staff that were already there around him. Like Eric Henderson, what's he known for? Aaron Donald's coach in the NFL. And that dude got like Gary said, biggest front. Eric Henderson got those guys to USC. Him and Aaron Donald. I mean, Aaron Donald lives down there. But Doug Belk. Yeah, he coached college football, but a lot of these guys were NFL guys. So Gary's going to be he as a college DC lifer, he's going to have a lot of NFL guys on that staff under him. So they're going to have to mesh all that together.
That's good. All right, we got a couple more questions before we get ready to end things. Let's hit them up. How about this one from Champ Bailey? Says, I want Michael Terry to be the big back. But he's just not that physical. He's not physical enough. Maybe in short yardage, we just give it to Nick Townsend like we do against A&M. I would say I have said Nick Townsend. I think it's going to be that cowboy back for you. I think they're going to put him in as a fullback sometimes. I think at times you're going to put him at the H. I think sometimes they're going to put him in line, off the line of scrimmage, put him in motion, put him in the slot. I feel like he's the guy that's going to move around a ton. I like his physicality, though. But I don't know Michael Terry. He's a little skinnier than I thought. He's a little skinnier than I thought at running back.
Yeah, but you can't say he's not physical enough.
I was going to say the same thing, Jerry. You haven't seen enough. Bobby.
I'm Bobby.
Bobby.
Yeah. We haven't. You got to give these guys a chance.
Yeah.
You got to give them a chance. And maybe he's not, though, Champ. We're not saying he necessarily is. We don't know that, but we can't say definitively he's just not there. Maybe we see what happens in spring ball.
I think the big thing for Michael Terry is, and I know, people have been high on him. Again, that's more thuds in practice, right? I think the biggest thing for a Michael Terry in the SEC is if you're 6'2", 220, you have to be as physical as any other player on the field. You have to be one of the most physical players on the field. You're not going to win with speed. You're not going to win with elusiveness. So how do you win as a running back in the SEC? Yeah, look at those Georgia guys when they won those national championships. Michael Terry's a better athlete than those guys. Those guys were running 4.65, 4.67 at the combine, but they were very physical players on contact. That's how Michael Terry's going to have to win in the SEC as a bigger back.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to play it physically.
Yeah, I'm with Bobby and Bobby. I got it this time. I'm with Bobby. You with a lot of these guys, man. You can't do the absolutes. I get it. You still have to see it, but you just haven't seen enough of him in any setting to say he is or isn't something.
He's never been hit by C.J. Allen before.
Yeah,
you
just don't know. You don't know. But to your point, you do have to make sure that a guy like that can get behind his pads.
Yeah.
Because any of those bigger backs, you're a larger target, right? So you can't, do it how you would have done it in high school. So I certainly think him staying at a singular position and getting the reps will go a long way to figuring them out.
Can't run through their square in college.
No,
not end up in one piece.
No.
Yep.
No.
Silver Spurs Sicko says, thank you, Dr. Babers. Hashtag girth. I was going to get your question in, Silver Spurs Sicko. Rod, would you rather have our line have girth or length? Is what he
Wait.
I want length on the D line. I want
Bobby tapped out.
that was Bobby's talking about. I'm out.
I was seeing it in the chat, and I was trying so hard to keep a straight face, and I knew at any moment Matthew was bringing this stuff up.
Yeah.
And yeah, man.
Bobby's like, I'm out. I'm out. All right. Yeah. That's a football. This is an evaluation term. To evaluating guys is not used in a derogatory sense. All right. Let's thank a couple of sponsors. Let's thank our friends at Von Lane. Before we end things, we appreciate Von Lane and you as well. Sorry about this the segue there, Von Lane. That's my bad. But Von Lane is a classy operation. We appreciate them. If you are done with the holidays and now trying to get back to the packed travel calendars and the meetings, of course, and you got to get back to the packed schedule as well. If you're still flying to different conferences in between these major Texas cities or just regionally and still taking those shorter plane trips, that can be a bit of a hassle, especially if you're dealing with TSA and delayed flights and all the stress levels of dealing with any airport experience. Or if you drive yourself, you deal with road rage and deal with traffic. That can be a bit of a hassle. Then you arrive there, you're all jet lagged and tired. Not with our friends at Von Lane. They deliver a first-class travel experience on the ground. You board at a private hotel terminal. You settle into one of just 22 oversized leather seats. You enjoy complimentary Wi-Fi, snacks, beverages, and hot towel service on every trip. They even have complimentary meals on select departures. And right now they're upgrading the entire fleet with Starlink internet across the entire fleet to make your Wi-Fi even more reliable, to make it even faster so you can get a lot of work done on the Von Lane. Or you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. They serve Austin, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Fort Worth, Plano, the Woodlands as well, Nashville, Memphis, Atlanta, Knoxville. And if you're traveling with the team, you can charter your own Von Lane coach and design the trip from pickup to drop off. Visit vonlane.com, VONLANE.com, and use the code OTF26 at checkout, and you'll get $20 off your first ride with our friends at Von Lane. Von Lane, your private jet on wheels. And we appreciate our friends at Von Lane very much. I've taken it several times myself, so I would personally recommend the Von Lane service. It is top notch. All right. Also,
hey, Rod, can I say something real quick? I got some clarification. Manny Muhammad was the cornerback of the week at the Senior Bowl for the American team. It's American and national. The other American team corners were Dalen Everett from Georgia, really good player.
Really
Colin Wright from Stanford. Ephesians Priceock from Washington, really good player. Julian Neal from Arkansas. So congrats, and Fred Davis from Northwestern, good player. So congrats to Manny for getting the Senior Bowl corner of the week for the American team. After that's a bit. There's some quality guys on all those positions on both those teams. So congrats to Manny for that.
Rod, hey Rod, where are you seeing? I know you pay attention to the mock drafts more than I do. Have you heard any projections for Manny at this point?
Nothing concrete. I think at this point, they're trying to see. I think most of the questions are whether he can raise his stock to being a corner that is firmly in the top 10. And then can he raise his stock after that with the workouts and testing? And I think that's where he's right now. Right now, I'd probably have him as maybe a third or fourth round pick, probably somewhere around where Robbie got drafted.
Yeah.
But he can improve that. Like it's still really early in the process too. I think he did himself a lot of favors at the Senior Bowl, though. No doubt about that. They like guys that compete. I mean, you go one of those bowls, you ain't scared to compete because you could get exposed out there and hurt your draft stock. So I think they respect a lot of guys that go out there. So I saw some of the clips from him, and I talked to some guys that are really impressed with Malik Muhammad. I think he's a technician, so I think the NFL will appreciate that. He's almost from a family of DBs, right? He had like a couple of cousins that played at the Power 4 level and played DB. The NFL appreciates the family business, right? When a certain position becomes your family business, like, oh, we play quarterback. My dad played quarterback. I was just talking to Mason Shipley. I told him, I said, man, the NFL is going to like the fact you're from a family of kickers. I mean, your brother's a kicker. You got another brother that's a kicker. You guys should start your own Shipley Kicking Academy.
Yeah.
The NFL likes that because they know you've been immersed in the game. They know you've been immersed in it, whether you're talking about psychologically, whether you're talking about spiritually, whatever. They know that you have a connection to the game, a constant and a little bit different. Yeah. All right. Would you do us a favor, Bobby, and thank our good friends at Garage Beer before we get out of here?
I can say that the garage is always open, Rod B. This is beer the way it should be: cold, crisp, easy. That's Garage Beer, no gimmicks at all. There's Garage Beer Light and Lime with 95 calories, 3 carbs, and only 4% ABV. It is beer-flavored beer. That is Garage Beer, Light and Lime. Thanks also to our friends over at Faust Distributing for their sponsorship of On Texas Football's Friday afternoon live stream.
Y'all want to hear something that's going to blow your mind?
Do
Our
it.
good friend Carl Padilla, the guru of the Padilla poll in high school football in Texas, is on our weekly high school show. Just sent me and Blake the prices for Texas Longhorns softball games in San Antonio next week. Anybody want to throw out a guess?
In softball in San Antonio?
We're playing Nebraska and Washington. Anybody want to take a guess at the
Really?
tickets to get in and watch Texas softball?
Defending national champ softball, by the way.
And obviously
120.
$75.
for Nebraska, 155.
Good Lord.
For Washington, I guess this is when Teagan's going to pitch, 350.
What?
Well, Washington's a great softball program, too. They won a national championship.
350.
350? Whew. Is this an NIL thing or something?
I don't know.
Are you trying to
That's
raise some
wild.
NIL funds? What's going on here?
That's
That's one of those
wild.
you
That's
wait
wild
till day
number.
of for them to drop. That's one
Wow.
of those. You don't buy them this early.
That is.
That's tough.
Okay.
Unless you're using SeatGeek. Unless you're
There
using
you go.
SeatGeek.
SeatGeek, OTF 10. There you go. Thank
There
you,
you go.
Matthew.
There you
Boom.
go.
There you go. That was easy. See,
Yeah.
full circle. Love that.
Yeah.
All right. Any closing comments for the people out there? Oh, by the way, big weekend on the 40 acres. To remind folks out there, they'll have the Texas baseball alumni game. That'll be happening tomorrow. I believe they open up early in the morning, like 10. They can open things up for the festivities. They don't get started. I think the game starts like 2. They open everything up for the festivities really early. And then, of course, game day will be in town for Texas women's basketball. Shout out to Vic Schaefer. Go check out that interview on Coffee and Football. It was fantastic. I'm still kind of high off that Vic Schaefer interview this morning. But they will be taking on Oklahoma, and game day will be in town for that. And I believe you can just go hang out at game day, right? You just go kick it there. All right. May
You
not
can
be
hang out at game day, then you have to leave to come back into the actual game.
Okay, yeah. Go said it was sold out, but hey, check out SeatGeek if you want to try to get some tickets there too. Who knows? They might be able to hook you up. Any last words for the folks out there, Bobby?
The only thing else I had is Elijah Ali, the defensive lineman from California, is expected in tonight for his official visit.
Okay.
That's a 2026 guy that Texas has in late. So be on the lookout for that. Obviously, signing day is actually February 4th this year, the second signing day for high school recruits. So he might be able to sign as soon as next week, the first Wednesday in February. Beyond that, Texas does not expect any new visitors for the portal this weekend. First time in a long time last weekend they didn't have any visitors except on that Friday. But it's starting to slow down, and things are starting to kind of ferret out and figure out what all has happened. I would go this. I mean, Texas is going to continue to have team workouts right now. The coaches are starting to figure out some guys that maybe are ready to go a little bit, that they're kind of anxious to see once the pads come on. Y'all, Rod and Marcus and Jerry, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Guys that they look at and they get on the field and they're all of a sudden, okay, further along than expected.
Right.
Out where I thought, maybe below what I thought.
Yeah.
Those guys right now, because they're having these team workouts, they're whether they even realize it or not, they're tearing themselves right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially the newcomers.
Yep.
Yeah.
They really like the running back room next year.
Yeah.
As of right now. Really, really like it.
Guys forever either understand or don't understand this when they get to college. The more you're in the football facility when you don't have to be, the better start you get off to in coaches' minds.
Yeah.
If you're only there when you have to be, that's not a good start.
Yeah.
I'm just here to tell you.
That's 100% true. And it's true at the NFL level too. I was on injured reserve most of my NFL career. Only reason I stayed around as long as I did, I never left the facility. I was always up there hanging out. I'm gonna be in the weight room. I'm gonna go. Even if
you're there early and you're there late.
I hung out even in the off season. I just hung out up there at the facility all the time. Because the coaches are always up there hanging out. They see you. strength and conditioning. So when it's time to cut guys, this is what happened. They sit at this big, Knights of the Round Table kind of table, and they have discussions about, all right, this is numbers. We keeping this many wideouts, this many DBs, we cutting this guy, and they'll be like, we gonna cut Rod B, and then you'll have a random guy, strength coach, stand up and go, hey man, y'all need to rethink cutting Rod Babers, man. He's a good player, good man, works his butt off, and then you may get another guy stand up, special teams guy go, he's a hell of a gunner too. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I really like him. You need as many coaches fighting to keep you on that roster as possible. And to Jerry's point, if you just stay around there, you'd be surprised how many of them fight for you. Because they just like, hey, I like this. He's around. He works his butt off. He loves football, obviously, and loves the game. So that's one of my little secrets. I should have been out of the league sooner than I was. But I stuck around. All right. Rocky P with a super chat here to get us out says, shout out to the magic behind the madness, Matthew. Thank you for all your amazing work, brother. That is a great way to end things. And thank you, Rocky P, for the hat.
Sir.
We appreciate it. And for the message as well, because Matthew is a real MVP. We want to reiterate that. Thank you guys out there for all the super chats and all the questions. Really appreciate your participation. Sorry we couldn't get to all of them. Thank you, Marcus. Always great to have you on. Appreciate all your hard work, Jerry, as well. And Bobby, appreciate your expertise as well. Like I said, give a shout out to Matthew and everybody out there. If y'all go out to the events tomorrow, I think I'll be out there for the Texas alumni baseball game. So if y'all see me, come give me a shout.
Bundle up.
Yeah, I will.
Bundle up.
It's gonna be cold as you know what, but it's gonna be fun.
You bundle up, and Aaron Harris will be running and working out without a shirt on outside in his front yard tomorrow.
Right, like he's Clubber Lang from the Rocky movies.
Yeah.
All right. For Jerry and for Marcus and for Bobby and for Matthew, I'm Lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers. Until next time, hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em horns.